Hello everybody, and welcome to another exciting video from your favorite YouTuber in the whole wide world, me, Shane Horn. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about two headphones, actually, the ones I'm wearing right now, the Hifiman HE4XX, and I'm going to be comparing them to the Massdrop exclusive HE4XXs, which I will just be referring to as double X, because saying 4XX over and over is just going to get really annoying for me. So, first thing is first, going over the general specs of these things. God, I gotta fucking take these things off. So, both headsets have a nominal impedance of 35 ohms, which is very low, very nice. They also both run at 93 decibels per milliwatt, so you're getting a pretty good sensitivity in there. They should be running fairly well off of just about anything, although with these in particular, you would want to use an amp or something just to help out. Yeah, you can see the cars in the background. It's blazing hot in my room right now, so I kind of have to have the window open for me to not die of heat stroke while I'm wearing a nice little flannel just to look presentable for you guys. Okay, so they both run from 20 hertz to 35 kilohertz. That's a nice increase on the high end, which is what you would always want, just to make the vocals sound clear, which they do in these. Now, they both weigh 370 grams or 13.05 ounces if you live in America. Just to get the comparisons out of the way between their, all of their similarities, they basically... They're both virtually identical when it comes to construction, at least with the housings. I should probably grab the other fucking headset. I use these on my VR headset because I also own a pair of Sennheiser HE4XXs, which I use just as my regular daily drivers. They're amazing. If you can get a pair, buy them. They are one of the best things you can get for the price. I believe they go for about $200, but I'm sure you can find it cheaper somewhere else. Anyways, in terms of the construction of the ear cups, these headphones are basically identical. The only difference being that the 400i's are a glossy black, while the double X's are a nice midnight blue. I believe that's the correct name that they use. It's midnight blue. Personally, I prefer the midnight blue just because I'm a sucker for matte colors. The glossy ones are just absolute fingerprint magnets. It's a bit annoying to keep them nice and clean, They both use leather ear pads with a felt cover on the inside. It's nice and soft to keep against your ear holes, but the difference between them is the fact that for the eyes, the opening in the actual pad is too small for my ears. Now, I don't think I have very big ears. I've been told I do, but for me, I get pressure on both the top and bottom of my ear with the eyes, the 400i's. And it makes it so I can only wear these for like 50 minutes to an hour at a time. And it doesn't work very well as... It doesn't work very well as a daily driver for me. Now, going over to the double X's, the cushions aren't as plush as on the 400i's, but I very much prefer that. Sometimes when you're too plush, the ear pads just kind of like go flat really quickly, and then you're just dealing with hard plastic on the other end. But the denser foam combined with the bigger ear holes just works out perfectly for me. And the last similarity between the two of them is the fact that they both have the double 3.5 millimeter inputs, which is perfect. It makes it so you don't have to deal with any proprietary inputs. You don't really got to worry about finding like super hard to find cables, much like how it would be with the Sennheiser 6XXs, because they do have a proprietary double prong input. Meanwhile, these 3.5 mil, you can find those anywhere. Now, that's basically where these similarities end. And going on from this point, you'll start to see you'll see why I very much prefer the double X's over the I's. So first thing we're going to start off with is the gimbal, the actual arm that holds on to the ear cup. On the double X's, it is hard metal. It's beautiful, nice and sturdy. I really don't worry about anything breaking on this. I have heard some people say that it was too stiff out of the box. It doesn't let you move too much, but I haven't had that problem, so I can't really say from personal experience. Meanwhile, over here with the 400i's, we are dealing with plastic. Now, this is the newer model. It is the more reinforced gimbal area, and all of the adjustment is beautiful, but, you know, it doesn't have the same quality feel, especially when you consider the fact that the 400i's are originally twice the cost of the double X's. I believe the original price of these is somewhere around the $400 area, but, you know, mostly it's been going for around $170 to $200. I personally paid $185 for these, and I paid $180 for the double X's. So technically they are around the same price now, but I find that with each listing you'll get a much different price with the I's. Going on with the overall headband and the head feel of the headphones, I still have to say that it's a really close call, honestly. Now, I do find the double X's to be very comfortable, not only on the ear pads, but I just find the top of the head to be very evenly dispersed. Meanwhile, the I's have the suspension band that I very much prefer. It's my favorite type of head suspension for headphones, and frankly I wish more headphones would use it, though I understand that it is a bit more difficult to implement than just a simple U shape on the top. Now, sticking with the 400i's, I do have an issue with my particular headphones. With the adjustment mechanism on these, the 400i's use these little dots that are in the actual headbands to get a good click, you know. And it is a decent mechanism. The only problem is that with mine, the left ear doesn't like to stay in place when I use it. I will put it to my desired level. The right one will always hold. As soon as I move the left one just a little bit, it goes back up. The other one, I can put pressure on, but this one, it moves too easily, and it always makes it a little lopsided on my head. I just want it to stay in this area. My other issue is, this is probably just with me, I haven't heard anyone else really talk about it, but I find the clamp force to be on here just a little too much. I don't know if that has to do with the fact that the earpads themselves aren't that comfortable on me, but I do find my head to be a little squished sometimes. Meanwhile, the clamp force on the double X's is decent. You know, it's nice and comfortable. It's why these are one of my favorite headphones. But going over to the double X's, the adjustment mechanism I find to be one of my favorites out of any pair of headphones that I've used. And that's because it's this single, smooth, infinite adjustment mechanism. That's not the official term. I call it infinite because of the fact that there's no notches or anything. It's just a single smooth action. And these might not have as big of an adjustment as the I's, but it's all I really need. Basically, I have it set on the smallest adjustment when I'm using it, maybe just like a tiny bit. And then when I have it on my Oculus, I'll have them damn near maxed out, just because that's where it gets over the band of the headset. And actually, you know, while I'm talking about it, use for gaming, yeah, these are actually really good for gaming. It has nice, strong bass, which is what I know a lot of people find as being the good sound. Why do you think Beats are so popular? It's just bass, bass, treble, treble. That's all it is. But I find these to be very good, especially with the fact that they have a decently wide soundstage too, and the fact that they can slide over my headset is just perfect. Talking about the sound itself, I have to say that the 400i's do win by just a cinch, by the hair of its nose. While the double X's have more bass, just a touch more bass, not a whole lot, it does have a slight but very noticeable increase in distortion, especially when you compare it to the I's. Otherwise, they're very close to the call. The 400 I's, the bass is tighter, it's cleaner by a little bit, but it is more recessed. You can tell that when Massdrop was making the double X's, they were going for a more fun, quote, enjoyable sound, which I could appreciate. It works. Aside from the bass, everything else about their sound is virtually identical. You can chalk it up to saying your ears just pick up on something differently, but honestly, I haven't been able to tell a difference in any other part of the sound besides the bass. But again, I do have to go with the 400 I's just because it has that cleaner sound. While I do love nice, punchy bass, I have to say it's got to be clean. And that's just one of the biggest things. If you have bass, but it sounds like crap, which these don't, but if you get bass that sounds as good as it can be, that's what I prefer. Going over the accessories between the two of them, I have to say that the double X's win just by a little bit. But the reason being is because of my personal opinion on cables. These both, they only come with a cable that is a double 3.5 to an angled 3.5 with a 1/4 inch adapter on it. That's pretty standard. A lot of headphones come with it. Even my Sennheisers came with it. 1/4 inch, freaking 3.5. But the reason why I prefer the cable of the double X's is because it is a rubberized coating. I prefer rubberized cables just because I feel like, to me, it's a more premium feel. All in all, if I had to give a completely just and unbiased opinion, the I's do win because they come with a nice, sturdy braided cable. And I know that's what a lot of people look for. It's not prone to kinking at all. It hasn't frayed. I haven't seen anyone say that it's been frayed, but it's decent. Out of the box, it's all you could ask for. And going for the price, on average, the double X's win by just a little bit. It's really chalking up to what the current market is. So like I mentioned before, these go for $180. I bought them for $180. Haven't regretted it since. And the 400 I's, their price varies too much. It fluctuates, so I'd recommend using Honey to go find the best price. Honey, I'm not sponsored. If you want to hit me up, I'm available. So anyways, all in all, if you had to choose between the two of them, if you're the average person and you just want to know that you are going to get a better headphone, the double X's win. That's all I can say. The double X's win. Thank you all so much for sticking with me through this video. I'm trying to find my own unique style. I want to express this is me. I'm not trying to be just uber professional like I was trying to be in the last video. This is me. Hello, my name is Shane Horn, haha, funny last name, and I hope to see you all in the next video. I can assume my next video is going to be on these bad boys, the 6XXs from Massdrop and Sennheiser. I've had these for 2-3 years now, and they're my number ones. Can't wait to talk about it, and I hope to see you guys there. Thank you.